Greetings from Pennsylvania once again. We're down here in the Philadelphia area today, just filming some videos for my Revolutionary War in Pennsylvania series. I'm only 10 minutes away from Fort Mifflin where I last filmed. But this is the John Heinz National Wildlife Refuge. Kind of an oasis of nature here in the Philly area. Right over there is the Philadelphia Airport. It's a neat place to see nature, so let's go exploring a little bit. Yeah, but right over there is the Darby Creek. See it down there? You are allowed to go kayaking or canoeing in there. They have like a canoe launch just back there. Might have to try that sometime. So I got several hours I can spend here. They got a boardwalk all the way across the marsh out there. Every time I've been here, I've seen plenty of wildlife. I think they have some observation towers up here too. But these swamps and marshes are just a fraction of what used to be in this area. Of course, out that way is the Philly Airport. Behind us is Philadelphia itself, and all its suburbs and industry. And swamps like this were, drained, bulldozed, filled in. But the swamps like this used to expand over quite a bit of the area here. Like I said, this is just a fraction of what's left. But it's a little oasis for wildlife. And for people who like to film it. So we'll go across. We'll come back and keep going that way. Make some kind of loop all the way around, I think. We'll see. I don't have any definite plans. But I love these boardwalks. Just recently we were at over New Jersey at a Great Swamp National Wildlife Refuge. They had a bunch of boardwalks. This one's cool because it goes right across this marsh. Nice breeze blowing. You hear some of these big, huge white flowers. I know the name of them, but I forget it. I know we saw some just recently at Wildwood Park north of Harrisburg. I think someone told me they are some type of hibiscus. They look like what was those trees? The Rose of Sharon as well. Pretty sure these purple flowers are purple loosestrife. It's an invasive species. Even though it looks pretty. Every time I've been here, I've seen those big white egrets. I think the great egret. I don't see any out here today. Know your turtles. Painted turtles, we see a lot of those. Red-bellied turtles, and then the invasive red-eared slider. Of course, these marshes are affected by the tide. This is like a tidal marsh, right near the Delaware River, not too far from the ocean. So as the tides come and go, this fills up with more water, or less. Maybe that's why there's no one of those egrets here, because there's no water for them to fish in. There's more water out there, so maybe we'll see some out there. I'm pretty sure when I visited here the first time, many years ago, it was the first place I'd ever seen those great egrets. They almost look like great blue herons, but they're white instead of the blue and gray. Oh, actually right over there I see some. Or some other type of egret. Let's zoom in. Do you see some way up there? We'll be heading that way soon, so down below. Not sure if those are the great egret or a different type offhand. I'll see when I get closer. Let's walk down the boardwalk just a little bit more, then we'll head up that way, get a look at those fellas. There's a trail on the other side. If you want to just take a short walk, you could cross this boardwalk and just go right back to the visitor center. But like I said, we're gonna go, I think we're gonna try and go all the way around. I got the time. I think we'll just head to here and then head back. Yeah. All right. I should feel like I see some birds out there too. Yeah, that's as far as I can zoom in, but there are some birds out there. What they are, I cannot tell from my little screen here. But yeah. Alright, but let's head back across and head up there where the water is. Yeah, so right up here is where they were. I'm not sure if we were able to get a look at them though. I think it's all kind of like fenced off. Maybe that's why they're down there. Oh, I see one out there though. That one's definitely a great egret. Because it's tall and stately looking. Yeah. If I could zoom in closer, you'd see like a green stripe right near the bill on the face, but the others were just down here. Yeah. They're down. Oh, I can see. Oh, I can kind of see one down there through the. All kinds of sirens going off in the distance there. Yeah, it's right there it is, but it's not focusing on it because it's through the brush there. Alright, well played, egrets, well played. They're safe down there. Well, there's that beautiful one out there. Walking across the water. Alright, let's keep heading this way. And once again, over here is the Darby Creek. Alright. I don't remember all this yellow barricade stuff being here last time, but I guess they have having trouble with people going down there, and thus they got to put stuff like this up, I guess. Looks like there's another little boardwalk right here. Let's check this one out. Looks like it goes out and back out, so I'm not going to turn down a boardwalk. Of course, I don't know if you can hear those sirens, unless you know that you are in the Philly area. Wow, this is pretty beautiful though. Oh yeah, there's the observation tower. Yeah, but you take away the power lines and the buildings and Interstate 95 in the background. It's kind of a nice spot here. I think I see some more waterfowl out there. We might be able to get a better view from the tower. Yeah, this side of the trail is a little more quiet. I know once you get over there, you're a lot closer to Interstate 95 and the airport. It gets a little noisy over there, but... Alright, let's head to that tower. I was hearing a bunch of birds over here, but now they got quiet. Oh, there's one. Just some smaller birds. And I think right around the corner should be our observation tower. Maybe. Alright, not quite. Yeah, way out there is that boardwalk we were on earlier. Yes, our trail kind of took us way out here. Now let's bring us back. So the tower should... Oh, I see it up here. Yeah, there it is. James Carroll Observation Tower. I'm hearing some music or something from over there. It looks pretty dry out here. Just some Canadian geese. Yeah, not a whole lot happening up there. Like I say, it looks a little dry out there right now. Maybe it's low tide or something like that. I can still hear that music a little bit. It's like children's music, almost like you would hear like at a theme park or like on a carousel. Not sure where it's coming from. I'm not sure if you can pick it up at all on the camera. I better not get like a copyright strike for it or something like that. Let's keep going. I'm gonna stick with my original plan to kind of hike around. You can go out even further. I think the first time I was here, I did a lot more hiking. There's another parking area way over that way. We've got some birds up there. Yeah, I can still hear that music. Can't quite tell. The lighting is the lighting is kind of off. There they go. Finally get to walk in some shade. It's not terribly hot today, but still walking in the sun is still hot. Yeah, more sirens in the distance. I do see one. There's a flock of like some kind of sandpipers out there. I see one whitish colored bird way out there. I'll try to zoom in on it. I'll probably shade it out there quite a bit. Hearing an airplane take off. I can still faintly hear that music too. It's almost like a horror film. Like you're out in the middle of nowhere, you hear like children's music start playing. Kind of creepy a little bit, but alright, let me see if I can zoom in on that a little bit. Alright, here we go. Oh, you can see a plane in the background taking off. That's showing up right there. It is taking off. But down below it, out there is. I'm not going to zoom in too far with this. Yeah, I can't tell what that is on my camera screen. Wait till I get home, but there are flocks of other birds out there, like some kind of little sandpiper or something, or plovers. Just can't really tell from here. Alright, so we have a split in the trail. I think I see like the start of a boardwalk up there. Let's check the map here. Conveniently placed. Alright, so we are right here. So we started way up here at the visitor center, made our way around. Yeah, Tinicum Marsh, there's a boardwalk out there. But eventually I'm gonna make my way around this side and back. But you can go, in the past, I parked all the way over here once and came all the way like over and back. That was a long walk. But I think we're gonna go out to this boardwalk and come back and go back. So let's check this out. I just realized too, I'm not getting attacked by any biting flies or bugs or mosquitoes. There's all kinds of standing water out here. I'll get some those observation platforms. Maybe we'll take a little break out here then. Wow. No one's out here. There's a bird flying. See if we can see where it landed. Just, oh, there it took off again. All right. No benches here. Oh, there's one. I'm gonna walk up to that one up there. I think we just have a turtle spotting out there. Our first turtle of the day. Can I find him on the... That's him right there, yeah, right, there's a turtle. I believe that is, right there in the middle of the screen. But now I'm getting attacked by a couple of bugs. Oh, there's some more turtles out there. Oh, they just slid in. I think one's out there yet. I think so. Right there. Yeah, there's a turtle right there. There was another one, but he slid away. Alright, yeah. Yeah, there's a bench. I'm taking a break here. I do see a number of smaller birds. Look like red-winged blackbirds flying around. Yeah, look at them all go. Alright. Well, this is probably my favorite spot here in the whole refuge. Most of those blackbirds flew off. But in the spring, it's probably full of, you know that song they do in the spring? I've filmed it in the past. They're probably all out here singing. You can see a few off in the distance, but Route 95, Interstate 95 is just over there. You can probably see it a little bit. But yeah, it seems fairly new. I think the first time I was here, I didn't come up down this way at least. Maybe it wasn't here, but this is really nice. Considering where we are here in Philadelphia, this is really nice. Alright, but we'll see if I stick to my original plan. So I'm kind of shaded out there. Felt like I had a little bit of a headache coming on. I've been doing a lot of filming this week, a lot of driving, so I'm kind of wore out. Today's a Friday. I'm not going to be doing any filming or driving around the next 2 days, really. I have quite a bit of editing to do now, but farewell to this beautiful spot. See another plane coming in up there. Quite the contrast.
Alright,
let's continue on. That neat boardwalk trail is just out there. I think we're gonna go this way. The wetland loop. This is what will loop us back around to where we parked. I was considering turning around and going back the way I came, but either way I went, it's about the same distance, so we'll just continue this way. It does get a little bit noisier up this way too. We'll be pretty close to the interstate, but let's go for it. So we got a little bird blind right here. This main area out here seems pretty dry today. I wonder if they can control. They probably have ways to control how much water is in here. So maybe this time of year they draw the water down a little bit. Not sure. I see some of those white egrets way out there again. All right, let's continue on. And it is indeed getting noisier. But a little ways up here, we're going to turn to the left and we're like right next to the interstate. Yeah, right there it is. Interstate 95. So for a little while here, we walk alongside this, but not for the whole time. Yeah, so even though this is a bit of a noisy place with the traffic and the airplanes and the sirens and the creepy music, it's an important place. Here in the Philly area, there's not much wild space left anymore. So when migrating species come through, or just even local species need a place to nest and to feed, a place like this is an oasis in an area of city and development. I think they even some bald eagles that nest here. So it's an important place. Even though it may not seem like the most pristine of places, it has its place here. As I'm all kind of shaded out there, but anyway. Yeah, I just realized too, that's the way I came in. Fort Mifflin was down that way somewhere, but I drove up I-95 here to come to this place. But this area is also supposedly the domain or the haunt of a creature called Swamp Boy. I did a video on him years ago. It wasn't the best video because the camera I was using that day wasn't working properly. I didn't realize until I got home, like a quarter of my footage wasn't usable, but I still uploaded what I could. Interesting story. Back in the 1800s, when more of this area was a swamp and marsh, he roamed, all over. Now he's confined to just this area, if he's still alive. Kind of like sort of like a Bigfoot creature, but on a smaller scale. Supposedly, he was a human boy at one point, but rejected by his friends, cast out by society, and he moved to the swamps. Slowly transformed into Swamp Boy. Or Ape Boy, they call him sometimes, because he looked like an ape. Thus the Bigfoot look. Let's just quick interrupt our story. So we are here. So we've already made it all the way around. Here is that section right along 95. So we're getting further away from it. So we're going to loop around and soon be back. Yeah, but if he became Swamp Boy in like the 1800s, you know, that would make him like 200 some years old. You know, how is that possible? Well, there's an extended version of the story that says that the Swamp Boy that lives out here now is not the original Swamp Boy. The original Swamp Boy found himself a woman out here in the swamps, I guess. Maybe just a regular human woman, or I don't know, swamp girl or something like that. And you know, they had a son who became Swamp Boy, and so on and so on. So that's one version of the story I heard. I don't know, maybe I'll become Swamp Boy. Find me a swamp girl out here. Anyway, but some versions of the story say Swamp Boy is gone, because as his habitat, as these swamps and marshes kept shrinking and shrinking due to development, you know, Swamp Boy himself disappeared. You choose which version you want. As for me, I think I like the version of the story where he finds Swamp Girl and has himself a nice little family. And that just maybe their descendant still roams this, what's left of this marsh. Yeah, I'm trying to think back to more of the story. I think he got, one of the reasons he became an outcast or was ejected is because he had red hair. I apologize to all the redheads out there, but I think that's what one version of the story says. It was because of the color of his hair. But enough of Swamp Boy and his red hair. Yeah, we're closing in on the visitor center parking area again. Their airplane. Maybe we'll check out that boardwalk again too, but it's also got a lot more quieter once again. We're away from the interstate. But it is a really nice place to come and walk, especially if you live in the Philly area. You can deal with the noise. Well, if you live in the Philly area, you can deal with the noise. And there's more to explore this park too. Like, I didn't go all the way out to the more western edges of it. Years ago, the first time I was here, I did. I parked way over there. The trails out there are a little bit more remote. This trail I hike today is the most popular trail that people walk and bike. There's more here to do than just what I did today. Yeah, so decisions have been made. I'm gonna skip that boardwalk again. Just head straight to the parking area. It's 3:30 now. I don't want to get caught up in the rush hour traffic. Everybody getting off at work, so here in the Philly area. So I think I'm gonna just scooch on back to the parking. I think we'll call it a day here in the Philly area. Filmed 3 videos today. Filmed 3 videos yesterday and like 3 the other day. I'm tired too, so I think we'll just head on back. But anyway, I did have a nice little walk around the marsh, the swamps, and reminiscing about Swamp Boy a little bit. But I think we'll call it a day, folks. That'll be the end for this video. So thanks for coming along. Thanks for joining me on this trip. Hopefully we'll see you on the next one.